cracking party people in the place to be. Justin Woodward here, co-founder of the media indie exchange The Mix, and bona fide, enthusiastic, ecstatic gaming fanatic, back at it with an incredible cornucopia of upcoming indie titles with our Mix Fall Game Showcase, and also we're gonna give you some whack rhymes. And of course, I'm here with my beautiful wife and co-host, Candace.
Hey everyone, I'm Candace Woodward, and that's right, summer is winding down. It's almost time to grab your bubble goose fleece sweater vests, your flannel shirts, and your pumpkin spice everything, and then settle in with one or more of these cool new additions to your game queue. Before we get into it, you know we've got some housekeeping to do. First, announcements. We have news about Indie Fan Fest, a brand spanking new showcase coming to you from The Mix and our amigos at Digital Banditos. This event is all about bringing awareness to the games with demos in the October 2025 Steam Next Fest, helping to draw attention to indie projects when they need it the most. So mark your calendars for September 24 and get those wish lists ready.
September 24. Speaking of wish lists, make sure to visit our Steam and Epic Games Store Fall Game Showcase event pages, where you'll find all the games we're featured in today's show. Wish list your favorites and maybe even pick one for a friend. Sharing is caring. Also, thanks to our participating dev teams and sponsors, we will be giving out Steam keys for related titles and other surprises, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Subscribe and or follow at The Mix or Indie Exchange on your platform of choice to get all the deets.
Now, we also have to give a special shout out to our friends and partners at Experience Studios, an organization dedicated to helping developers in underserved communities. It provides funding, guidance, and marketing assistance to teams of all shapes, sizes, and colors. To find out more and to donate to their efforts, please visit experiencestudios.org.
We have another announcement, which is, it's amazing. The Digis, the Dope Indie Game Awards, are coming again. Submissions are open for developers. Go check that out. And our final announcement, much love to all of our participating developers, without whom this event would not be possible. And a very special thanks to our premier sponsors and Twitch. Twitch is like, they're super amazing. IGN Games, for all you guys who show their support and enthusiasm for the indie community by consistently showing up to work with us on these events. We couldn't get this done without y'all. I am talking about people like Xola, Epic Game Store, Raw Fury, ID at Xbox, PM Studios, Noodle Cake, Silver Lining, Better Publishing, Retroware, Acapara, Top Hat, Soft Source, XD, and Fully Illustrated.
Thank you again. And now, hold on to your lattes and let the Mix Fall Game Showcase commence.
Let's go.
'Cause what matters are the threads we made along the way, and all the lessons that we learned, and the memories we made. 'Cause time takes us closer to the end. Won't be the heartbreak or the pain, these are the stories we will tell together.
Hello, Racer! Welcome to the Cosmic Race, the ultimate galactic vehicular tournament. Strap in, because this isn't just a race, it's a thrilling journey across the stars where every second pulses with danger and excitement. Feel the rush as you rocket through twisting cosmic tracks at mind-blowing speeds, dodging exploding debris and racing across crumbling bridges that might fall onto you. The environment itself fights back, shifting and changing, daring you to adapt faster than your reflexes can keep up. And don't think you're alone. Monsters lurk in the shadows, cunning and relentless, ready to block your path or send you tumbling into the void. But fear not. Your arsenal of weapons and outrageous utilities will turn all the chaos into opportunity, letting you outsmart every threat and seize every advantage. Every moment is a challenge. Every obstacle tests your skill, courage, and determination. Only those who embrace the chaos, master the madness, and push past the impossible will rise as the galaxy's true champion. So, Racer, what are you waiting for? Ignite your engines, feel the thrill, and show the universe what you're made of. The cosmic race is on, and legend awaits those bold enough to chase it. Let's start racing!
Oh, you're finally here, just in time for the show. You won't be disappointed.
Never turn down free booze.
We don't have all day.
That's where you're wrong. Show me the not shown. I've been eaten by worse. Well, it explains why you're so full of shit.
You were always a mentally addled buffoon. Together, we can redefine the meaning of heroism and villainy.
Could you stop it with this shit already?
Time for climax.
Welcome back.
That last set of up-and-coming games had some real bangers.
Bandit Trap had some Home Alone multiplayer vibes. Kevin! Shout out to PM Studios on that one. I dig it.
All right, got to keep the show moving. We still have lots of trailers and exclusive reveals to share with you guys. Next up, it's time to explore fantastic worlds, navigate magical landscapes, and unravel twisting and turning storylines. That's right, we are serving up a collection of daring narratives with a side of platforming and a dash of puzzling. And if there are any ukulele fans out there, get ready. There's more Chameleon on Bat action coming your way.
Ain't no shame in that game. You do you, boo. Let's get it.
I truly believe that animals can feel the goodness in one's heart. That's why I practice being ever so gentle and patient.
No cap, there's mad pigeons everywhere, right? But I've never seen a baby pigeon. That's sus as hell, not gonna lie.
This is the story of two unlikely treasure hunters and how they rescued their friend and saved the world. Is it all true? Maybe, but it's a great story either way.
Still with me, Mr. Harrell? Still with me, Mr. Harrell? Still with me, Mr. Harrell? Still with me, Mr. Harrell?
Hello from Norway, I'm Are, and I am here to tell you a bit about our upcoming game Moomintroll Winter's Warmth. If you're not familiar with the Moomin franchise, it's a wonderful world created by the Finnish author and artist Tove Jansson 80 years ago. These cozy but melancholic stories have captured the hearts of millions worldwide, in the form of books, comics, TV shows and much more. The stories are usually centered around themes of friendship, love and inclusion, with whimsical and humorous characters, but also with serious topics and themes that are as relevant today as it was in the 40s. Last year we released our first Moomin game, Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley. It's about the adventurer Snufkin and his quest to restore the natural balance of the valley. It has an overwhelmingly positive rating on Steam, so hopefully many are as excited as we are about the upcoming sequel. Our vision is to create a game that feels like something Tove Jansson herself could have made if she was a game developer. For this game we want to have a slightly dark and more melancholic mood, but still keeping it very cozy and nice. And of course, this time you're playing as everyone's favorite Moomintroll. When Moomintroll unexpectedly wakes up early from his winter hibernation, he finds himself completely alone for the first time, in a world he barely recognizes. Initially seeking someone to care for him, and longing to banish winter, young Moomintroll reluctantly embarks on a journey into the unknown, learning to forge new friendships and help those in greater need than himself. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter at moomintroll.game, or just wishlist the game on Steam. Thank you.
Welcome to Gold River. You must be here for some backwoods adventure. All of your supplies will be waiting at the Eagle Ridge Campground. Once you and your party are ready, press the Depart button on the digital waiver and we'll get you on your way. Remember safety first, and we hope you have an amazing time in the beautiful wilderness of Gold River.
Shout out to Playtonic for that new reveal. Now it's time to shift gears and get spooky. This next set of games contain the stuff of nightmares, low-lit hallways, haunted castles, and black and white cartoon monstrosities with millions of teeth. Before we do that, Candy, let's give the folks some goodies.
Okay, Jay, here it is. It's time we drop some of those sweet, sweet keys. Check out the QR code on the screen for a free key.
Going, gone.
Let's get back to it. These games aren't for the faint of heart. So if you're feeling panicky, just go put your head under the covers and wait it out. But if you're with me, get ready to get your scare on.
This part of the house. That must be Momsy. What a scary, scary nightmare. Hi, I'm Kimmick. That's my roomsy. My sweetheart video gamesy. I love Creepon. There's my #1 show. A nutritious snack.
My Cracker Jack squeeze. Please clean the kitchen.
Mommy didn't have time to clean up before leaving for Salzburg. A task for Supermouth.
Neat kiddo. Daddy's socks need washing.
Here's our basement. Looky, a little spooky. I need to stay unseen. I know you're there, little rat. You have to be careful. That must be Momsy. Maybe I'll hang around the house and answer will come.
become a gear in the sick machine of this world. Always judged, forever invisible, tired of being told to conform. But at the same time, it's never enough. It all out, or I can just keep pushing. Why do I feel so trapped? This is a nightmare. It has to be a nightmare. Help me. Please, someone. Help me.
Now I gotta bring my heart rate back down to normal. Those games had me freaking and geeking. Make sure to wish list all of those soon-to-be classics.
Absolutely. Do not forget to wish list those games, and shout out to our partners at Twitch for working with us on the charity and on the show. Right now, we've got to replace the frights with fists as we turn our attention to this next group of games that we call Action Jackson Packin' Gatson.
I'm glad I wrote that for you, Candy. Dope. That is my vibe. Let's get it started with an exclusive trailer reveal for a badass beat 'em up that should come with a stack of cheesy nachos with all the fixins and a horchata.
Nuevo Tokyo weeps in silence. It was forever wounded by the Narcosacran. Kuso Yaro! The Narcos and the Yakuza joined to create the most ruthless criminal organization. The streets are utter chaos. Un decimadore. The four heads of the Narcosacran have robbed the people of tranquility. Ay, mi pueblo! But Juan should rise to the occasion. One that has mastered the outlawed ancestral martial art, the way of the donkey! Mexican Ninja!
You have been wronged, assassin. Your eyes taken. Your honor stained. Give me what's left of you, and I will ensure you take back what is yours.
Halo semuanya, saya Andre Agam dari Digital Happiness. Hari ini saya mau cerita sedikit tentang Broomstick Exorcist, game yang juga weekend project dari game director kami sambil mengerjakan seri utama kami, yaitu Dreadout 3. Dalam Broomstick Exorcist, kamu berperan sebagai Vika. Dia adalah tukang sapu insomnia yang memiliki kekuatan mistis. Saat malam datang, dengan sapu kesayangannya, dia sibuk menjadi seorang demon hunter dan membantu mengusir makhluk-makhluk yang mengganggu warga sekitar. Dengan konsep 2.5D, kami memadukan dunia 3D dan sprite studi hand-drawn khas manga hitam putih. Mengambil inspirasi dari komik klasik untuk menghadirkan kontras tegas, siluet dramatis, dan suasana yang indah namun misterius. Sepanjang perjalanan, Vika bakal ketemu banyak musuh unik. Mulai dari makhluk berleher panjang, nona terbang, sampai hantu-hantu kecil yang iseng. Dalam game ini, kami ingin menciptakan keseimbangan antara rasa creepy dan sentuhan humor, supaya pemain gak cuma tegang, tapi juga bisa senyum-senyum sendiri. Untuk gameplay combat, kami kasih kebebasan lewat skill tree. Pemain bisa pilih mau fokus ke kecepatan, kekuatan, atau gaya bertarung yang flamboyan. Dan kalau situasinya udah gawat, Vika punya jurus pamungkas dengan memanggil Corin, yaitu pendamping spiritual dirinya yang jauh lebih kuat dan lincah. Nah, itu tadi sneak peek public demo yang akan dirilis saat Steam Next Fest Oktober nanti. Ayo wishlist di Steam supaya nggak ketinggalan. Terima kasih sudah mendukung karya-karya Digital Happiness. Semoga kalian nantinya bisa merasakan serunya broomstick exorcist dan berburu makhluk gaib bareng Vika. Sampai jumpa.
Your boot sequence. It worked. Welcome to Babel.
Will you be able to stop the ashes and save mankind?
We are the Scavengers Guild. We find what the world has forgotten.
The mask protects us from the ashes.
You are here now, and you'll save us.
A gift? For me?
Now this is betrayal of the highest order.
I told you not to come to Jureka.
Welcome to our fort. Let us strengthen your weapons.
Each time you die, your backup kicks in, and a new model is awoken.
I can see you have new powers. I guess the creator knows his tools.
In this world of ashes, will you still remember me?
I definitely need more Mexican ninjas in my life and horchatas.
I knew you would like that one, Mia Moore.
Make sure to wish list those games for sure. Okay, y'all, let's hit pause and refresh ourselves with this collection of 3 exclusive trailer reveals brought to us courtesy of our friends at Better Publishing. Check it.
Hello, we'd like to present to you Better Publishing, a new label for small indie teams. We're excited to share a glimpse of the games that are coming your way. Starting off, we have Don't Wake the Beast, a roguelite stealth game. You'll sneak through ever-changing dungeons to steal treasures guarded by deadly beasts. Use your trusty grappling hook to dodge traps, outsmart enemies, and solve puzzles. But be careful! Each treasure you claim makes your escape more dangerous. Coming in 2026 to PC and consoles. Following that, we have Void Dungeon, a game that brings you into a 2D action RPG. With intense hack-and-slash combat, deep character options, and relentless enemies. Face them alone or with up to 4 friends. And yes, there are quirky costumes, because it's always better to look good when the void consumes you. Coming in 2026 to PC. Step into the secret game of an ancient order, Order Automatica, a dark roguelike auto-battler played on a 3x3 grid. Recruit strange allies, position them with care, and empower them with occult artifacts to survive. Each battle, every run brings new enemies, unpredictable events, and the chance to uncover the true purpose of the ritual, coming in 2026 to PC. Flooded flips the city builder genre on its head. Optimize your production on an island that's shrinking over time. Gather enough resources and flee to safety before the world is completely underwater. Available now on Steam and consoles, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. For small teams with big passion, it's better when we play together.
I went to the excavation site alone last night. I found a game controlled by some strange magic. What compelled me, I cannot explain. I simply felt like I had to play it. I lost many times, discovered many secrets of the game. But for whatever reason, I feel I cannot stop. With every round, I grow more confident that there must be more. That there must be more to this game. What happens next is up to fate. But mark my words, I will not cease until the truth is revealed.
For years we've been gathering our precious treasures. Until one day, a crafty little fellow came along. He started stealing our treasures and giving them away. We tried setting up traps. But when he reached the vault, we had no choice.
Some consider me a thief, but others, not so much. In the end, not all heroes wear capes. Or do they? Who says a hero can't be a little sneaky?
Void Dungeon looks chill. I cannot wait to add that one to our lineup.
Oh, you know it. Now it's time to give a shout out to our homies at Silver Lining Interactive, who recently launched the Silver Bullet program. This new initiative seeks to help the wildly creative and relentlessly passionate dev teams out there who are building the games today that players will be talking about tomorrow. Also, get ready because we are hitting y'all with a free key giveaway. Make sure to take a flick of the QR code for your chance to grab a key. Going, and of course,
go.
Also, follow us on Blue Sky and X for a chance to win a key during Free Key Friday every Friday with The Mix.
That's amazing. Let's get back to it and check out some of the most original titles the indie community has to offer, including the sequel to a sleeper hit that came out almost a decade ago.
What? I gotta peep this.
Let's go.
Hi, Ross and Eben here, part of the team at Silver Lining Interactive.
We're the publishing partners behind games like Spirit of the North, Definitely Not Fried Chicken, and Outbound for consoles.
We also team up with studios to bring their games to physical. Just this year, we've helped launch titles like The Alters, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and the Bendy Saga.
Today, we're excited to lift the curtain on the Silver Bullet program, our way of supporting fearless, wildly creative devs who are building games that are bold, surprising, and proudly weird in the best way. With Silver Bullet, you get up to $100,000 in development or finishing funds, full publishing support,
and hands-on guidance to help you find your audience. Most importantly, your vision stays with you from start to finish.
We've already teamed up with some seriously talented devs through Silver Bullet, and we're just getting started. If you've got something weird and wonderful in the works, we want to see it.
Hit up silverliningint.com for all the details and send us your game pitch.
From all of us here at Silver Lining, thanks for watching. We can't wait to see what you create.
Hey everyone, Mark here, one of the developers of Outbound. Today we want to share a little look into some of our favorite features we're implementing into the game: foraging, crafting, and base building. When we started building the crafting system, we wanted it to be more than just collecting resources. It's about creating something personal. Using the resources you gather, you can create a space that's truly yours. That's where the camper van comes in. It starts empty, just a blank canvas, and as you gather resources and craft, it fills up. Soon, you're customizing your space with furniture, tools, and decorations. As you journey on, the vehicle evolves with you. It's a reflection of your journey. It's not a chore, it's an opportunity for creativity and expression. One of the coolest parts of the system for us is how crafting evolves beyond the basics. Sure, you start off with the essentials, but as you progress, you'll be creating more complex systems, growing food, building advanced tools, crafting renewable sources of power to charge your van. We wanted to make sure that crafting feels meaningful. So for us, crafting in Outbound is all about freedom. The freedom to build, to explore, and to create a space that feels like your own, but is easy to share and enjoy with others. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for the second Dev Diary, where we'll take you on a journey of exploration in the world of Outbound.
When it's time to kick some ass, you gotta do it right. Old reliable, the twin barrel boomstick never leaves my side. Always comes in handy. Chain gun. Turn the tide in your favor and paint the town red. Belt-fed, free-range firepower. And when the ammo runs dry, cut the crap and beat his face in. No bullets, no problem. But we can do better. Boom, bro. Why drown your sorrows when they can go out with a bang? Not enough bang, you say? How about a frickin' cannon, huh? The old school way still gets the job done. And when all else fails, just grab whatever's lying around. You're only ever gonna be out of options when you stop looking for them. Oh yeah, this gun show's the real deal. It's Captain Wayne's Vacation Desperation. Wishlist now on Steam.
Thanks again to Silver Lining for sharing those amazing games with us.
I still can't believe the original Slain came out in 2016. And Slain 2 looks super sick, Candy. Now let's move on and flex the muscles between our ears. Mine are quite massive. The next collection of games will test your wits and tickle your gray matter with perplexing puzzles and strategic simulations.
Whether you're a clever wizard playing magic chess or a cute cat defending your home from sushi monsters, you'll have to use brain power as well as free power to overcome the obstacles placed before you.
Yeah, you got to use free power, firepower, and yes, once again, a bunch of trailer exclusives are coming. DJ, cue the video.
or visible brains. Well, you know it's a real big shame, 'cause we all wanna travel by train. All aboard, step inside. You'll be chilled and thrilled and terrified. On Spooky Express, you'll scare half to death, while creatures and ghouls surround you.
My name is Brian, and I'm the developer of Slumber Realm, a dreamy dice roguelike. The year is 1997, and you're just entering high school. So naturally, your enemies are overactive acne, puberty, social anxiety, and homework. But you have a secret. When you fall asleep at night, you escape to another place called the Slumber Realm. Let's skip ahead and check out one of my favorite enemies, the bureaucrat. As a teenager, I hated homework and paperwork more than anything. This paper-pushing feline embodies the soul-crushing monotony of schoolwork. So let's violently assault our homework with improvised weaponry. The way Slumber Realm works is I roll a die, and I try and trigger my equipment using that die. It'll give me resources, and I can use my abilities to attack the enemy, but let's roll and see what happens. Here I rolled a 3, that'll trigger my drumsticks and my slap bracelets. This will do damage to the enemy, and also give myself a little bit of defense. The enemy also gets a die roll. Oh, this was bad for me. In this case, the enemy has given me some paperwork to do, which is going to sap my joy, and damages me with a hairball. Let's take a quick cat nap and skip ahead to the PE class. Everyone had that weirdly intense coach growing up. You're on lap 7 or 8 of a mile run and they're screaming at you, hustle, hustle, like it's the Olympics. In Slumber Realm, the coach has transformed into a werewolf, or were-coach. This enemy has a countdown mechanic. When the combined dice rolls are greater than 10, the were-coach stops inflicting exercise upon you, and instead greatly encourages you to run for your life. Don't fool around in this battle, hustle, hustle! Here the player roll 2. They're going to apply some vulnerable to the enemy and then stack up a bunch of damage on top of that. Vulnerable increases the amount of damage the enemy takes. Let's see what the enemy rolls. The enemy rolled 2, so that'll decrease the howl a couple points. I've saved the best worst nightmare for last. The Spelling Bee is a boss you'll encounter on your journey through the subconscious. She's a simple bee dressed as a witch who curses you with dark magic taking the form of spelling puzzles. Here we'll spend some of our limited resources to try to solve her puzzle. Okay, we're out of resources. Let's roll the dice. That's all I have for today. Be sure to join our Discord to learn more and wishlist on Steam. Sweet dreams.
Wow! I'm going to lose my mind!
I'm not gonna survive that.
Bro, we got cooked! It's not beatable. Well, at this point, I might as well just keep it going, man.
All right, one more.
I thought I would get it in one. Did not get it in one.
He pulled out the blicky and shot me.
A very pretty squirrel. How can I manage to destroy it? Did it fire a gun?
We've stunned the frog. Also, we've turned them into a frog.
Beekeeper.
The biggest struggle is the fact that we're killing ourselves slowly.
Oh god, this motherfucker again.
It's a crazy cat lady.
It's the hardest game ever made, okay? I am having a good time playing Dog Witch, though.
I love this game.
Hell yeah. This game's f***ing tight, dude.
It is goofy, it is ridiculous, it doesn't make any sense in the best possible way.
Oh my, all of the free power that I gather from that last set of games. Fellow gamers and indie heads, we are nearing the end of the show.
But don't be sad. This one is for the gamers who know their roots.
I know what you're talking about, Candy. Games with gigantic maps to explore, plenty of power-ups to collect, and of course, backtracking.
Most stuff. Lots and lots of backtracking.
So let's backtrack, moonwalk, and get into the groove of some more games.
Introducing Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit, an all-new video game that'll take you back to the past like never before.
This game sucks, just the way I like it.
Jump and shoot your way through levels full of familiar enemies, power-ups, and discover alternate routes on your way to every boss. Only this time with top-notch live-action cutscenes throughout that make it feel like you're playing an actual episode of the show.
Groovy.
For you collectors out there, expect a physical edition pre-order from Limited Run Games for modern systems. And if you're really old school like me, Limited Run will also have it for the NES.
Let's pop this fucker in.
On a real cartridge, designed and manufactured by Mega Cat Studios. Coming to all platforms and NES on October 23rd. Oh, and don't forget to wishlist it on Steam.
Darling half-blood.
She's not lost. She's exactly where she needs to be. To die.
My name is Joanna, future queen of everything glittery and gory. And this is my ultra grumpy shadow buddy, Stakasia.
Bleed quickly.
I call dibs on her boots.
Well, that's a wrap on the Mixed Fall Game Showcase 2025. Thanks for joining us and hope you found at least a couple of new games that you can't wait to cop. I know I did for sure. Remember to follow the Media Indie Exchange on all your socials to hear about our up and coming events, giveaways, and more.
Now, speaking of, did y'all know the nominations for the next Digi Awards are already open? That's right, the Dope Indie Game of the Year award show is coming back for a second year, and we cannot wait to celebrate the best indie games out there with all of you. Visit digiawards.com to vote for your favorite titles of the year. Now, don't be shy.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, we've got the first Indie Fan Fest coming up, which we're producing with our buds at Digital Banditos on September 24. Just a few short weeks away. Put that one on your calendar ASAP.
And coming up in October, we've got more events with even more games to check out. We'll celebrate women in gaming and women-led teams in the next Dames for Games showcase. And then we'll scare ourselves stupid with a new showcase devoted exclusively to indie horror.
More horror candy? Where is my blanket at?
Relax, Justin. Now, if you liked any of the games you saw today,
or you forgot what you saw because you were looking at your phone,
Take a second to visit the Mix Fall Game Showcase event pages on Steam and Epic Games Store. You'll see all the titles we featured in the showcase today, all in one place.
Big ups to my brothers and sisters on the Mix team, including Abe, Steve, Matt, Joel, Fully Illustrated, Nap, Timmy, Travis. Y'all make my job easier, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If I forgot anyone, feel free to shame me in the comments. Seriously, y'all are the best.
Now, lastly, thanks are once again due to all our premier sponsors. This show simply could not happen without your involvement. The Mix is grateful for your support and your encouragement of independent game development. Without you, many of these games would not even exist.
Thanks to Xsola, Epic Game Store, Raw Fury, ID at Xbox, PM Studios, Noodle Cake, Silver Lining, Better Publishing, Retroware, Akupara, Top Hat, Soft Source, XD, and Fully Illustrated.
And not to mention Twitch.
Yes, Twitch for sure. Thanks again to our sponsors, our participating developers, and you, the audience, for showing up and believing in the games. The Mix will be back soon with more games and announcements, so stay tuned. I am your host, Justin Woodward.
And I'm Candace Woodward.
We will see you next time. Peace.